In this video, we're going to cover inventory recounts, taking in consideration what you have out on open work orders. So make sure here what we're going to do is to consider or compensate for what is on an open work order and make sure that when you're doing your counts that they are very accurate. So I want to go over to home ribbon here. I'm going to go to work orders real quick and show you what I have. I have an open work order here. And now in your case, you might have 40 or 50 of them going, and that's okay. So this particular work order has an oil filter on it that I pulled from inventory. So here I have this oil filter. If I go back over and let's go to inventory real quick, you'll see I have two in stock, and I have one available. So I do have one out on an open work order. Now, it doesn't matter if it's going to be just a regular work order. The work order could be sitting here on hold. It could also be a future work. It doesn't matter. It's going to count them. So before I start to do all this, you want to bear in mind that you want to try to do this at the end of the day in the evening, when you're not invoicing or on a weekend or something. Because once you start invoicing, it's going to throw your counts off. So as you sell this stuff. So I'm going to go over to reports. And in all reports, under inventory, I'm going to go to inventory listing. So this is going to give me a listing of what we're going to do. Now we're going to do a particular category in this little video here. I'm going to do just my oil lube maintenance. I'm going to go to execute. And then I'm going to go up to my column chooser. I'm going to get rid of a bunch of columns I don't necessarily need to see. So I'm going to go up here. We're just going to go turn off some stuff. So kind of get this narrowed down to what we want. Don't need all this. All right. So now we have this report kind of narrowed down. You'll notice there's a column here called on work order. And as I scroll through, you see here, I have a fuel filter that's on a work order. I have an air filter. And then I have that oil filter. So this is what I want to compensate for. Make sure that when I'm doing the physical count, that's going to be included. Now, another thing you can do here, especially if you have a very long list of items, is you can run a filter. So I just go to filter and I'm going to go to on work order. I want anything that is over 0.0. Hit add, hit OK. See, now that narrows it down to just what I have on work orders. And if you'd like, you could even save this, and that way you'll have it in my reports. So we'll do a save, inventory listing. We'll just call it open inventory, something like that. Save our values, hit OK. See, and now we'll have the nice little sheet already set up in here. Okay. So typically you would come in, print this off. That way you got a list. Now, I go over to my setup and I'm going to go to inventory. I'm going to go pull that same exact category. Hit search. And again, you just sort this, however you want to sort it, whatever you want to do. And then once you have that, you go up to export to Excel for inventory recounts. That will put the spreadsheet over on your desktop. So this is my recounts for lube oil maintenance or something like that. Put it on my desktop, hit save. So here's my recount sheet. And again, see now I have my M, column M, which is my in stock. So you're going to go through and do your actual counts. So here's that oil filter we were just talking about right here. So you notice it says I have two in stock, but remember I had one out on a work order. So when you're doing your physical count and you go to the shelf, you may only see one there. So this is where you take that list report and you want to take that in consideration on what's going to be in stock. And that's all you're going to do. Now, let's say we do have something that is off. Okay. And I'll just kind of use this one here as an example. So if I want to go adjust this one, let's say there's 10 of these. Notice as soon as I start to type it in, it's going to tell me it's protected. I have to unprotect it. So I'm going to go to review, unprotect. Now I'm going to go say, well, I only got 10 of these in stock, not 12. And just, that's all you're doing is making sure these counts are correct. So this is your in stock, including what is out on work orders. Once it's completed, you're just going to save it, close it up. So I can hit a save here. I'm going to close it. Now I'm back to my inventory in the setup. And again, it doesn't matter what order it's in, as long as it's the same batch of items. So I'm going to click on the first item. I am going to go down to the bottom, hold my shift key, click again, and then I'm going to do a batch update. Hit next. Recount inventory quantity. Next again. Now I have to go find my file. So I'm going to hit select. I'm going to go to desktop here, see what we got. There it is. Hit open. Next. Now I kind of like to drag this open so I get a little bit more better view here. So you see at the bottom, we got part number, manufacturer, and quantity. So here I'm going to go in, line it up by part number, line it up by manufacturer. You notice the columns got the pink and yellow. Now I'm going to scroll over a little bit. So I'm going to line it up to the in stock. I hit next and start. Hit close. Now to get this to refresh, I hit search again. And now I have accurate counts in the system. Now if I go look for that oil filter again, you see I still have 2 in stock. I go do an edit, 2 in stock, 1 out on a work order. And that's exactly how to do that. Now, if you would like to get a value of what you recounted, go to home. I can go to reports here. Again, I go to all reports, inventory, recount list. So then I just open that up, hit today. Now I did have some other stuff in here that I did recount up and down, but you see here's that gear oil. So 2 down, unit cost $6. So I lost $12. Another way to look at what your total value is in the general ledger. So you go to your general ledger. For those of you that are using the accounting, we go to the recount expense column. Oop. So this is an expense account, and you can see your adjustments. Anytime you have a negative adjustment, that means you have increased the value. If it's a standard expense, like this $12 is not in a negative, that means that's money lost. And it also adjusts your asset value of your inventory. And that's the easy way to do recounts and to be able to track exactly what you have out on work orders.